some more of those things. Mine went off like in the middle of somebody's set, and I almost died. I literally just like buried myself in a dirty carpet back there. All right. Did it.
Tuesday night.
I know. Woo! Okay. I'm just gonna move this up here. Maybe you are one of those self-assured women. Maybe aging and ideas of success, they just don't enter your brain or your mind and keep you up at night. Maybe your mom is nice to you. Maybe we are just very different people, you and I. I was having a bit of a crisis before I turned 30. I was accidentally telling people I was 30 and then maniacally laughing when I said, no, I'm 29, until they got scared and embarrassed and ran away from me. Fact. At home, I had spent roughly about $80 on the lotion I read Drew Barrymore used, and I just rubbed it on my forehead every night. And I was like, this is going to save me from being the old, gross lady I am destined to be. And I had certain ideas of what being cool and a happening 30-year-old meant. It meant some like owning something really big, right? And I have only ever paid off my TV. That's it. It also meant being in a very happy and healthy relationship in one word, and where the guy likes you back and you don't have to cry after sex anymore. And in terms of that, I was 0 for 2. So I decided to be proactive. And it wasn't like a pay off my debt and buy a house or anything, but the love part, I'm on it. And I had 4 months until I turned 30, and I was determined to fall in love. And looking, back at this, it sounds like a Lifetime movie if Lifetime movies are centered around insecurity and tender. I started with very little criteria, small stuff. Maybe I've been too picky all of these years, and a douchebag or like a solid unemployed mama's boy was exactly what I needed, and I just didn't know. So I first went out with a very popular Houston Latin DJ called Pancho, and he was extremely hip, creative. He had a fucking apartment in Paris, you guys. Like, wow. And so we met for drinks at a bar nearby where I was dog sitting, which is a Montrose occupation. It was so perfect. Our conversation was flirty, and it was great, and we drank a ton and ended up back at the house I was staying in doing what adults do. So and then it wasn't until I had a full-blown panic attack while he was going down on me that I thought, maybe he's not for me. Like, maybe this is it. And I never talked to him again. But almost a year later, he texted me, "Remember when I ate that pussy so good you freaked the fuck out?" Yeah. Most charming man alive. After that, I hung out. I started hanging out with a hunky, large Nigerian man named Enema. The conversation was not great. And, I was willing to stick it out. This guy is in a shitty pop punk band and would name drop constantly about people he knows in the scene. Okay? I am no longer a stranger to band guys, so I could ignore a large portion of this, so much so that I ended up dating him for just a very long time. So really, but things, they never really felt quite right. He would literally have to, grab me and pull me to him to kiss him. And it would always just kind of taste like macaroni for some reason. I don't know what it was, but I dumped him via text, and he said that I was a cruel person, and he blocked me on all social media. So, oops, whatever. I thought my luck had changed then after this guy, when I agreed to go out with Ishmael. What the fuck is up with the names? A Ryan Reynolds lookalike. Yes. But if Ryan Reynolds was a very short, fat Mexican guy. So, just like him. Also, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm listing everyone's ethnicity. Maybe I'm trying to show that I'm an open, modern woman who dates guys with extremely hard to pronounce names. Or that I have tried sort of lots of different flavors of men names that are really just very hard to, you get it. I waited outside of Star Pizza for this guy, very long time, and I was already soothing myself with red wine. This was good. And those loud ass motorcycle guys you see with the guys and the leather chaps riding them? So when one pulled up, and wouldn't you know it, was my date. It was my guy. And never one to give up on a request. I just thought, okay, maybe I can be a motorcycle mama now, or whatever. I just liked saying motorcycle mama. And, it turned into this really weird situation where, first red flag with him was that he ordered milk, a fucking milk. He went and ordered it. And, I'm not a complete asshole. I know people are sober, but ordering a child's drink that puts you to sleep is weird to me. So, I asked if he ever drank, ever, and he kind of laughed and went avoided answering. Fuck. Second red flag was when he revealed himself to be a Mormon. That was the big one. Yeah. I'm not opposed to dating somebody, but I really was shocked because we met on Tinder, which is basically sex with dinner app. It's an app that's for dinner and then sex. And, again, I'm not opposed to dating someone who grew up with a weird religion. I did too. But this guy was a card-carrying, secret underwear-wearing Mormon church member. This should have been enough for me to walk away, but after all the gross guys I had gone out, this guy was actually kind of refreshing. He bought me gifts, and he always said very sweet things to me. And if he wasn't, fully saving himself for Jesus, if you catch my drift, after about 6 weeks, I just got really freaked out by his super intense eye contact and commitment. And very annoying Snapchats. So I met up with him, and I broke the news. No, thank you. I cannot be your sister wife. That is not something I can do for you. After this, okay, so by far my favorite guy, right? It's my summer loving, it was Andy the Asian, and that's what I call him. He's a tall, sort of gentle giant of a man-child with a dirty-ass apartment, who called himself an artist, but I literally have never seen art in his apartment. Not one piece of art. Oh, man, I liked him so much, though. But, he let it be known that he had kind of met a girl a few weeks before and was also dating her, and that's fine with me. I looked past all of that because he was by far the best kisser I have ever kissed. And I mean ever. So I spent a good 2 months getting hot and heavy with Andy, but then ultimately he decided to date the other fucking girl, that bitch. And then, there were other guys I went on only 1 or 2 dates with. A guy, Drew, who offered me Coke within 20 minutes of our drinking date. A country dude, Jason, who wore Crocs and shorts to meet up with me. And he told me that he almost no-showed me to stay home and watch Chopped on TV. This close. And a real fucking dick called Grant who took me to a museum but ended up being a legit racist. So I just like left. Anyways, I ended my sexy mission with Chad, who's a very tall, very dreamy close-up magician. And, it's right. That's right. I love magic. And, Chad and I had met in real life when years ago he told me he liked my body type and had asked me to come home with him, which I don't do, and had always wondered what if. What if? And that was then. This is now. I reconnected with him on Tinder, and we agreed to go to the ever-romantic Barbarella Club of dancing. Like exploring each other's bodies with our mouths and like every dirty way we wanted. And I was doing stuff to him and he was like doing stuff to me. And then a special moment of kind of like finger insertion happened, super romantic. And, you gotta kind of slide down for that stuff. And kind of laid on his bed. I just knew it was gonna get even better. And I kind of wriggled underneath him trying to find my groove. Kind of felt like I was doing all the work there for a second. And then I looked up, right? And not only was he asleep, but he was like dead asleep on top of me. Right? So like heavy, fingers still inside. In my brain, I'm like, fuck this dude, right? So I managed to free myself and I left as soon as I could find all of my stuff. Anyways, if this is what I was missing all these years, you can fucking keep it, dudes. You can keep it.